We're witnessing Cardano in a stage of critical rebranding, which is really going to propel it forward into the next stage of, I've been paying very close attention to the Cardano roadmap, and I think they're one of the most promising as far as taking into consideration the importance of smart contracts. And so in this video, we're actually going to be going into detail regarding the specifications of this technology and the various different deals, and how this rebranding is ultimately going to propel it forward. And there really is a lot of potential in store for this technology and this point in particular, with so much time ahead of in so much developments happening across the board. I'm very interested in seeing how we could see this technology, and especially in the context of the greater the top 100 cryptocurrencies. It is interesting to see how these developments have been moving forward. And my understanding of Cardano is fundamentally data driven. The recent rebranding that we've seen happening with Cardano is really going to be substantial as we move later on down the line. The Cardano is significant in a lot of different ways when you take into consideration its position in the overall history of the development of cryptocurrencies. Now, of course, Bitcoin was the first one, and then right after that, we saw Ethereum with smart contracts, and now we're essentially in the next generation of cryptocurrencies where technology like Cardano, with an approach to this space similar to Cardano, I would definitely believe that Cardano is going to be the one, though. I think that there's a lot of potential in store for this technology, and it's really one that I'm paying attention to. I look at the news regarding Cardano, and it seems as if there's definitely a lot of really interest in it, and especially Global Coin Report talking about, will Cardano be worth $10? And of course, we've seen people putting forth various different possibilities, different projections for price and so forth as far as the long term goes. And with the new roadmap that we've seen involving Cardano, there is a lot to be expected in regards to what's going to be moving forward. And I'm really optimistic in regards to how we can see things moving forward, even though, of course, we're seeing a lot of things in the red today at the current time I'm making this video, with the market cap at 278 at the time of making this video, and that's a rough 278 when you take into the overall context of how we've seen things developing as they've brought us to this point in June, halfway through the year of 2018, and things are still sort of plummeting, to use to coin a phrase. Bitcoin's down, everything's down. The whole market's sort of been experiencing this turbulence. And we've talked about the market. I'm going to try to avoid talking about it too much. But for those of us who've been involved with cryptocurrency for any amount of years, we're used to this sort of volatility. It's essentially the nature of the beast when it comes to crypto. But I'm sure there's some people out there who are still relatively new to the game. And I do feel sorry for anybody who's at a loss. I mean, it is what happens. That's why we encourage people to do your own research when it comes to these things. And that's why I include this disclaimer saying I'm not a financial advisor, because this isn't financial advice. This is just my opinion. And I think that's important for everybody to hear, so that you can go out there and find your own resources of information, and of course always verify. And listening to people's opinions is fun. I'm always that's the whole point of this channel, is to hear everybody's opinion. And of course, if you're interested in connecting with us, you can do so on Twitter. Now it's at CryptoTuber. And we're always interested in whatever, sharing memes or all this different stuff. But and of course, make sure that you follow Cardano Foundation on their official Twitter as well. But as far as looking forward, I definitely say this is one of those technologies that has interesting future in front of it. In particular, looking at this article right here, the redesign of the brand. And I'm definitely interested in seeing how things are going in the near future. And you could view the market being a little bit down any way you want. You could view it from an optimistic perspective and see it as a sale, or you could see it as the end of the world. And basically, I'm not your dad, so at the end of the day, make sure that you make your own decisions, what you will or won't do regarding these things. But yeah, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how these things advance, and I think cryptocurrency is the future. I could definitely see in the year 2020. There's a lot of speculation about how big this space can get. So don't get disgruntled by the momentary turbulence that we might be experiencing, because what the numbers that we see here, they reflect international variables and so many different variables that makes your head boggle. But I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how things are going to be moving forward in the long term. And in the spirit of sharing different opinions, I'm actually going to be including a link to this DustyBC video, which goes into detail regarding a lot of similar things we've talked to in this content. But of course, I think it's always important to share different people's perspectives regarding these technologies and so forth. And yeah, I mean, as far as Cardano goes, I think there's really a great community built around it, and a good structure and an interesting vision for the future. And I'm definitely interested in seeing where this goes and how this takes us, especially because we're so early in the game when it comes to cryptocurrencies. When I go down this list of cryptocurrencies, I always think to myself, what are these technologies doing that's going to be playing a fundamental real world variable in the actual functionality of society, and where can I actually see these technologies advancing themselves in a way, because really what people get distracted by when they first get involved with cryptocurrency is they treat it like stocks, and they overlook the fact that these technologies are actually doing things in the real world. And Cardano gets my attention currently at the number 8 position in all out of all cryptos. And I mean, anything in the top 10, I would say, is due for some significant attention as we move forward. It's worthy of my attention, at least, because I mean, as I do my research in regarding to these technologies, and I would say that Cardano is really one that's positioning itself in a way that's leveraging the current availability made possible by a multitude of technologies that are coming together at this time. It's amazing how quickly things have been advancing, and how we've been moving forward really faster than anybody else could have possibly predicted. So the fact that we're seeing a technology and the potential of it in the same category as Cardano rising to a degree of prominence, I mean, they really have come very far in a very short amount of time. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing how this technology is really going to be blazing important trail that's essentially establishing to a large degree a multitude of things that are going to be playing a fundamental role across the board for every cryptocurrency. So Cardano is definitely on my list of things to be paying attention to for 2018, but also 2019 and 2020 as well. There's a conversation happening right now in the public conversation, in the public space, happening about data. There's a conversation happening about the Internet of Things, and this is going alongside with more and more people getting smartphones. Every single year, more people are being connected to the internet, more objects are being connected to the internet, and that means that the public consciousness is becoming more data aware. And Cardano is really leveraging a lot of the potential that's made available by that. And I think that's going to be really significant as we move forward through the next couple of months leading into the next few years. and there's so much possibility and potential for these, especially with such a great vision that we're seeing with this particular tech. So I'll be interested in hearing your thoughts. Make sure that you guys comment down below, and feel free to connect with us on Twitter. And I will see you guys in the next video or live stream. And have a good one.